Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Desire to Inspire. Well, I'm Gloria here, and if you know me, well, you know I love to bring on people that are going to help you not only in business, but in your life and all ways of inspiration. And so today I decided to bring somebody that actually I did some coaching with. And you know, I love to talk, right? And share, and you can too. And so my special guest today is going to teach you how to get rid of that fear and get on stage and share your story. And she's got a lot of wonderful tips and ideas. So if you're brand new to speaking, well, then get on here and invite a friend, okay? Because AmondaRose is your speaking success strategist. And this woman has taught thousands of business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders her step-by-step proven speaking method. And I have to tell you, when I took her 3-day workshop, even her whole booklet she gives you, her template, is like she's handing you everything. And as a result, since April, I have now booked about 5 or 6 different events coming up real soon that I'm really excited to share my gift and story. So are you ready to share your gift and story? So it is with great pleasure that I bring on this beautiful woman who is a success. Oops, so I just lost it. We're having a little technical difficulty today, but there we go. Your success speaking strategist. So welcome, AmondaRose.
Hi, Gloria. Welcome. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. I feel honored to be part of your amazing journey.
Well, you know, it's been fun being on the journey with you because I remember, I don't even know how I found your event last April. But you know, there was so many wonderful gifts you brought to us and tips and tools. But I got to tell you something. What is also happened as a result is all the connections that I made at your training with the beautiful heart-centered entrepreneurs you attract. And that's been really valuable too. So I just want to let you know that you really do attract the type of people that we kind of want in our tribe.
That's right. And I think what we put out as a speaker, as a business owner, as a coach, whatever you consider yourself to be, as I also consider myself to be a speaker, coach, and trainer, is what you put out is what you attract. And I consider myself to be heart-based. I consider myself somebody who likes to connect with other people, to support each other, and encourage other people. So that's what I fill my room with.
You sure do. And Amanda, you're a best-selling author, and you've got a couple of different programs out there that you offer. So tell us a little bit of how you got involved in all this. Like, why did you become a speaking strategist?
Well, you know, I think sometimes in life we end up going in places that we never thought we'd ever be. I was working as a social worker, and I was happy earning a paycheck. I never saw myself as a business owner. I never had a desire to. And then I did a little personal development. And if you've ever done personal development, you cannot stay where you are in your life. You can't. And I remember going to these workshops and watching this gentleman, Jay Souter, who had Life Tigers was his company. And I used to say to myself, boy, I'd like to do what he's doing. And that little voice in my head said, no, you can't. You're not good enough. You can't do it. And at the same time I was doing the personal development, I had taken a job with a nonprofit as a fundraiser. And they didn't tell me I'd have to speak in front of hundreds of people. So here I am doing all this personal development, getting out of my comfort zone, speaking to groups, which I never saw myself doing. And it actually birthed the whole idea of me being a speaker, which turned into really to being a coach who trains speakers. I remember asking God, higher power, spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, what am I here to do? And I hear a teacher. And I go, oh, I don't want to be a school teacher. My husband and I have dogs. There's a reason why. We took the easy route. I don't want to be a teacher. It's hard work. But this is a teacher. So people may see me as a speaker or a coach or a trainer, however they want to perceive what I do. But I am all in my heart a teacher. So that was the driving force. That calling was the driving force in me starting my own business. And it'll be 15 years ago in October. And I've never looked back. And I love what I do. Absolutely love it.
Well, I just learned something new about you. I didn't know about your background. So that's really cool how you transitioned to all of this. Amanda, I was at a networking event last night, and there were some amazing women there that had really valuable stories, but they're also afraid to be vulnerable. How do you help your clients get over that?
Well, I think often the vulnerability comes from the fear of being judged is one of the reasons. What will other people think if I had this experience? And the other side of the hesitation to share a personal story is they don't want to take their family members, their friends, whoever they had the challenge with down the nasty path of putting them out there, right? So if, for example, my mom used to laugh at me when I would talk, right? And so my mom's crossed over, but I know my mom wants me to share that story because it's all part of who I am and what I do. So many people don't want to share it because they're afraid of offending their loved ones. And there's always a way to do it. So if I didn't want to mention my mom, I would say a family member, right? So that way, or somebody that was in my life, to take out certain information. And the other side of it is the vulnerability. Vulnerability is by sharing your story, your personal experiences. You now become an example for other people how to rise above their challenges. If you don't share your experiences, they won't know how you went from breakdown to breakthrough. They won't know how you went from trial to triumph. And so they have a purpose. And the first time that somebody comes up to you and says, thank you so much for sharing your story, you changed my life, you'll never, ever second guess telling your story, ever.
So, Amanda, one of the other things that I hear from people all the time is, well, if I get up there and speak, am I going to actually get paid for speaking, or will I get paid by promoting a program I have? And is it really possible to make a living? So how do you help people get started and get out there?
So that's an awesome question, Gloria. So let me first address the ability to make money as a speaker. So there are two paths. And I think it's best to do both paths. So one is the paid. Now you have to get your experience. People often think, oh, I'm just going to put speaker on my business card and people are going to hire me. They're going to pay me $10,000 to speak. It doesn't work that way. You have to pay your dues. You got to build a reputation. People got to love you and share who you are and refer you. And you have to be very active in your speaker marketing, pursuing those opportunities. That's one. The other side is, for a lack of a better term, which they call speak to sell. Okay. For me, that feels very male dominated energy, right? So speak to sell. So I'm going to tell you to run back to the room. That's not how I roll. But you can offer your services from a heart-centered place, from a place of moving people forward because you know they need your help, and offering your services. So yes, you're selling your programs, but that's a great way to do it, to make money while you build your reputation to get the paid. Now think about in 2018 when the market went, right? All the homes, the mortgages, right? What do you think happened to those paid speaking opportunities? They disappeared, gone into thin air, right? So all those people that relied on those opportunities didn't have any other ways to make money. So if you follow the paid and the complementary path where you get to offer your services, you have a speaker model that will serve you for years for every single economy.
I agree. I've been seeing that happening not only to people like yourself and other speakers, they're famous speakers, right? But even, getting myself back on stage, because I used to do it and it did build my business. It absolutely did. And now people are actually coming to me. So it's interesting because, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to find all this time to go search here and go search there. But, kind of once you speak someplace and somebody likes you, they're referring you to another person, right? And then all of a sudden, I just got an invite to be a keynote speaker. So I was like, wow, a paid position. Unfortunately, I have another event in France, so I won't be able to do it. But it was nice to actually have somebody reach out to me and say, hey, I'm available for this paid event. I was like, wow. And this really does work. So I'm excited for you to share some more tips with our guests.
Yeah, so I think it's important, Gloria, because you are a really great speaker, right? So you have to fine tune those speaking skills. It's not, I was speaking at a group with 70 women the other day, and I shared that many people think, well, and I get calls from people all the time, well, I'm a good speaker. I'm a comfortable speaker. You have to be a great speaker. You need to be an extraordinary speaker for people to refer you. Good or great or okay, ordinary isn't going to cut it. You're getting those opportunities because you learned how to be a great speaker, an extraordinary speaker. That's why it's happened for you so quickly.
Well, thank you for that. And you're right, because I have watched a lot of speakers, on YouTube and stuff, and you're going,
right?
and like Mary Ann just said here, visibility is key too. We've got to keep ourselves visible, and we got to keep fine tuning our skill sets too. So even though, I had a background of this, people said, well, why don't you take a training with AmondaRose? Well, because there's always something more to learn. And what I really appreciated, Amanda, in your training, the 3-day event that you have, another one coming up, actually, we'll tell our viewers about it in a little bit. The templates that make it so easy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Why did you do that? Why did you give away all that material?
Because my commitment is to give something that provides tremendous value to people, whether they choose to work with me further or not. I want people to walk away from that event knowing that that was the best investment they made as a speaker trainer. So I looked at everything that I had learned in my own personal journey, mistakes that I made, and also in things that I implemented. So for example, one of the things that we talk about is actually how to get speaking engagements in 30 days and do it with ease. Well, I could say, okay, well, I'm going to tell you to work on your speaker marketing, and I'm going to tell you, you need to make phone calls. No, I'm going to tell you exactly how to make those phone calls, give you step-by-step systems, because I want, whether somebody hires me for more, I want them to be walking around saying, AmondaRose is amazing. You need to go to her training, because not everybody can work with me further for financial reasons. And I want them to go and have enough information that makes them super successful and have a workbook that they can use over and over again.
And I actually do. And I have a virtual assistant now who's going to be helping me in the future. And she's like, well, how do I do this? How do I make these calls? How do I write to people? And I actually, typed up some of the templates for her to say, this is what you're going to do to help me. So not only helps us as a speaker, maybe we don't have time, maybe we're not so comfortable making those phone calls, but we have someone else that can help us. And you provided that. So that made it really easy. Thank you.
I love to do it. This is how my mind works. I remember working with one of my clients quite a few years ago, and we worked on her signature talk. One of the things I love to do is help people craft their talk. And I said to this person, now go book speaking engagements. I had done it, so I thought, just go do it, right? And then she said, I don't know how. And I'm like, all righty, then I need to teach my clients everything that I do that created the success that I've had as a speaker.
And I think one of the things that I really love is how you are heart-centered, not only presenter, but you teach us to be heart-centered and not just kind of ramble on with facts about our lives. So what tips do you have for our soon-to-be speakers out there that really can bring them? What tips do you give people to actually get heart-centered other than just say it? Like, what do you do? Do you have any exercises or thoughts around that?
Well, I think you need to, when people are thinking of their presentation and they might have fears and doubts, they're often thinking about themselves. So you really have to get into the heart of your audience and what they need, because your presentation isn't about you, it's about them. So I really, even when I can create an empowered speaker event or I create any other training, I think really, what do they need, right? Mm-hmm. I take myself out of it and I create it based on what they need help with. So it's really about focusing on them and thinking about what are you committed to helping them. So part of something that I do personally when I prior to speaking is I love EFT. I'm not an EFT expert, but I love tapping. So I think Gloria's familiar with it, right? So you tap on different points. So I do it really about, for me, right? And you can do this as affirmation. So if I was tapping, and you can look up EFT if you're interested online or talk to Gloria about that, is the EFT. So I will say, I put my heart and my soul into my presentation. I deliver a presentation that wows my audience, serves them for years to come, and leaves a legacy beyond their years, meaning that they will go out, share this information, share their message more powerfully, and change more lives. So I really get into that energy of it, which allows for me personally, because I'm very heart-centered, it allows me to connect with my purpose in doing this.
But since we're on a lunch and learn here, and some of our audience is on their lunch hour.
I love it. Virtual lunch and learn.
I know, we did a lunch and learn in Tampa. That was so fun. Can you tell the audience a little bit more about your actual hands-on type of training and coaching that you do?
Yeah, I have many different programs, and there are some coaches out there that don't love doing groups, or they don't love doing private, they don't love doing live events, they don't love, online programs. I have it all, every single method for people to learn. And so people can hire me to work with me for a 1 day or a half day intensive. Like Gloria and I crafted her signature talk. I taught her an entire template for every presentation that she does. It's one of the things that lots of people hire me for. I work with people privately on their speaker marketing, how to contact groups. I have online programs from the basic speaker training to actually learning how to book speaking opportunities. I have a year-long program called Invincible Speaker Mastery. And the one thing that we've mentioned that I have coming up, which is my Empowered Speaker event. And I'm so excited about this. I started doing it in April 2018, and I was going to do it once a year, and people were like, no, you have to do it again. So it's been April and October. And I really cover a lot in that training, from how to book speaking engagements with ease in 30 days. I lay every step out for you, how to find groups, how to contact groups, what to say when you contact groups, all the speaker marketing stuff, how to create joint venture conversations, meaning alliances that you have relationships with, that you help each other, and you also help each other get in front of other stages. I mean, I lay that out for you. It's half of my workbook for the event. And then I love to cover also the things that people don't talk about when it comes to speaking, is your body language, your use of your voice, audience engagement. I cover how to present on video, which is key because you have to be able to do this. I used to look like a deer in headlights. This was me. Hi, I am AmondaRose. I'm serious. It's that bad. How to share your story. I break that down step by step. Networking introductions, how to create an offer that makes people want to buy it. So I cover a lot in 3 days.
You sure do. And I put the link down here for anybody that's watching on the replay. Okay, so this is how you can find AmondaRose's Empowered Speaker event coming up. What's the dates? October
3rd to the 5th. You can also go to empoweredspeakerevent.com. That will take you to that page, empoweredspeakerevent.com.
Okay, well. EmpoweredSpeakerEvent.com.
It'll take a second to forward you over, so just give it a moment to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Empowered Speaker Event.
Okay.
That will take you to somebody else's site.
Okay, let's fix that real quick. So Amanda, I want to share something with our audience because you touched upon it. I remember in a speaking event that I was invited to many, many, many years ago, and it was for a computers company. And I had been a business manager at the time. And because I was training my staff so easily and quickly, they were like, we want you to come and speak for us. Well, I was in my 20s. It was the first time I ever spoke to a large group, and they didn't tell me it was going to be a large group. It also turned out to be all doctors. And, I'm sitting here with like all these little, cards to read off of and stuff. And it was so intimidating. And I realized that the stuff that was on the card was not my expertise. It was not what I knew. And I decided to just throw the cards to the podium, walk out in front and engage with them with what I knew and what they need. And it turned into a dynamic presentation where they were asking questions, I was answering. They wanted to buy the computer system. I got offered a job from the company.
I love it.
And I didn't want that particular job, but they did hire me, paying me a lot of money to go to these doctors in all their offices for quite a while until I decided I didn't want to travel that far. But it was amazing what I learned in that moment. Like you said, you were a deer in headlights. And that's kind of how I felt when I first went up there. But I felt that I was giving them information that I was not an expert in. And therefore, I was getting really, really nervous. And so it taught me a great lesson to go up there, like you said, speak from your heart, speak from what you know and your passion. It changed the outcome.
It does, because often people come to me and they might be part of a network marketing company, or they might be a leader in an organization. I primarily focus on business owners and entrepreneurs, but I also will work with passionate leaders. And they'll come to me and say, here, the marketing department gave me this presentation. And they really struggle with it. And the reason they struggle with it has nothing to do about them, meaning not their personal stuff, but it has nothing, it's not energetically them. So what you are doing is you are allowing yourself to shine. And you have to obviously have the structure to know how to open, move through audience engagement and all that those things that make that work. But you need to let you come through, because your audience can tell if you're not being you. The first workshop I did a long time ago, it actually was a 2-day workshop. I had 12 people, 6 friends, and they brought 6 friends. And I walked away from that going, something's not right. And the reason being is I was so attached to doing it a certain way, or being like my previous coach was, the person I looked as a model, that I lost me in the process. Yeah. So I've worked really diligently in allowing myself to come through. Whether I resonate with somebody or not is not an issue for me. It's like, this is me. This is, if you want to train with me, great. If I'm not a fit for you, that's perfectly okay. So I get to be me, and you got to be you. That's why you shine through.
Yeah, I'm really glad I got that lesson really quick. Because years later, I got thrown on the stage too. I think I actually shared that video with you. I got thrown on the stage in front of thousands of people. I was in network marketing at the time. They literally told me about 5 minutes prior, we need you up on stage. Nothing was rehearsed at all. And I was like, okay, I just said yes. And they just said, we want you to tell your story. That was it. And I shared my story. And, you know, it not only did it get a standing ovation, but I got a lot of customers from that too, that saw it because we put it up on YouTube, and other people had it on YouTube. And then a lot of them were coming to me for coaching. They were like, how did you do that? How did you build your team? So sometimes, you know, we don't really need a whole lot of prep if we really know our story, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah. And so I think I'm going to give a little tip that will be helpful. If you're thrown into those situations where you have to present, remember this model: past, present, and future. It's something that I teach about impromptu presentations. So past, present, future. So if you're going to go share your story, there's more details that I go into at my live event, but think about it as past, here I was. Present is here I am today. And how is my story serving me or other people in the future? So past, present, future. It allows you, when you're thrown in any kind of impromptu situations, to have some structure to it. So you don't end up rambling, going all over the place, losing your train of thought. If you can keep it into that model, it's going to make it a lot easier in those type of situations.
That makes perfect sense. That makes absolutely perfect sense. So what other tip do you have for our audience today that you're just dying to tell them about your event and what you do for them?
Okay, so let me share a tip around avoiding the data dump, which is one of my
yes.
Avoid the data dump. Right? So avoiding the data dump is where you are giving so much information that your audience feels overwhelmed, that they start to check out. They might go on their phone. And the reason being is that we often, as heart-centered individuals, we want to help, we want to serve. So we think if we give them so much more information, almost everything that we know, they're going to love us. They're going to speak highly of us. But instead, the result is that they will feel overwhelmed in the presentation, and they will not hire you or recommend you as a speaker or coach, as a consultant. Because if you're going to overwhelm them during the presentation, that means you're going to overwhelm people during your services as well. And so an important question to ask yourself is, do they need to know this? Do they need to know this? So when you're creating your content, if you ask, do they need to know this? You'll go, oh, wait, no, they don't need to know this, or they can learn this in the next step. And that will help you kind of pull back your content a little bit. And I used to be the queen of the data dump, right? That was how I thought. I was a social worker, pour so much information on them so they'll love me. But that doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve your audience as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think all of us kind of go through that at first because we have all this knowledge in our head and we think we can give everybody all this help. And then we realize, like you said, it's just too much.
It's just too much. Yeah.
Audience kind of going to sleep, or like you said, looking at their cell phone, you probably lost their interest.
Right. And lots of times people come to my event or hire me to work with me personally, is we kind of look at, what do you actually need to be sharing? How can you also include audience engagement in your points? Because if you use audience engagement, and I'll teach you actual ways to engage your audience at Empowered Speaker event, is that the information goes from the head, where it's a bunch of data, to the heart, where change happens, where they embrace the information. So from the head, it's data. It doesn't really have an impact on the life. If you include your audience in your presentation, so it's a conversation, so they're doing things during your talk, that's where change happens. That's where it goes to the heart. That's where they're really impacted positively by your information.
I agree. I like audience engagement. Actually, I found, my very first talk that I talked about, that's how I overcame everything else. It was like, get them engaged. It made all the difference in the world.
So Gloria, real quick. So my first presentation when I was working for the nonprofit, I had to talk about charitable gifts and annuities, the most boring topic in the world, right? Boring, right? And so do you remember Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It's still on, that TV show, right? So I took that concept. This is back in, I started my business, oh my gosh, in 2004, the year 2004. So this was back in 1999. So I made a whole game show called Who Want to Be a Chocolatier? So the thing that I did is I took that kind of concept and I made it into a game so that everyone in the audience had an opportunity to win chocolate. And the organization that I work for, the board was like, you need to teach everybody to do what you're doing. And I went from somebody who didn't write very well. I didn't think I had skills. I didn't think I had a creative bone in my body, to realizing when I came to writing presentations, my creativity soared. It just flourished, and I didn't even know I had any of it. So that's that whole part. If you engage your audience as well, they're going to recommend you, they're going to love you, and they're going to refer you.
I like that creative part, because a lot of people, they'll say, well, I'm not creative, but we can come up with something like that.
I did too. That's what I said. I'm not creative.
Yeah. And you kind of catch the audience almost off guard because they're not expecting it. And now they're like, oh, I have to pay attention to this. I want to say something. That's cool. So I'm going to put up the dates here one more time. And if anybody's on the replay and you have questions for AmondaRose, please post them. She'll come back and later on and she'll ask them. And I'm also going to put the link up here one more time for all of those that may be interested. And that is empoweredspeakerevent.com. And is there anything else you want to say about the event?
Sure. I would love to.
Special for them if they sign up today?
It is. So if you are a business owner or an entrepreneur that needs to get out in front of audiences, get interviews, podcasts, videos, live Facebook Live interviews like this, and you want to reach more people, then you want to do the VIP ticket at empoweredspeakerevent.com. The VIP ticket goes up to $997. So right now it's just $297, and I'm going to give you a special Gloria code, which is Gloria VIP, and it's all caps, Gloria VIP. Put in that code, and you're going to save $50 on the ticket. Now it's going to bring the ticket to $247, and you're going to get a $247 ticket for a value of $997. I got it, and I have. Oh, hold on. Okay, so this is my workbook. There are over 70 pages in the workbook, in the VIP workbook. 70 templates, step by step, in that workbook. And then, and if you're saying, okay, I'm not a business owner or entrepreneur, then you could do the general mission ticket. And the general mission ticket right now is just $147. That goes up to $597. And I've had people pay that much for those tickets. People seem to show up at my event last minute all the time. They walk in, or they meet people, my attendees in the hallway, and they're like, you need to come. And they walk in and they pay the ticket price. So this is a great opportunity for you to get that early registration savings, because it's going up. I hold it out as long as I can. And this
that's $147?
$147 for the general admission. There's no saving code on that one because it is already such a huge savings. But the VIP, you'll get it for $247 by using the Gloria VIP code on that page. It is good for 3 days, so you've got to take action quickly.
Okay, so it's good. Oh, oops, I'm trying to create a banner here. For 3 days only. Any last tips for everybody?
I think when it comes to presenting, you really want to look at it as every time a presentation opportunity shows up, it is a window of opportunity for you. Now, you could rise to the occasion, right? You could give it your best, or you could let fear or doubt stand in your way. I am where I am in my life and in my business because I was willing to take the next steps. Even though it scared the heck out of me to do this presentation in front of hundreds of people for the first time, horrible communicator, had no skills, I stepped up to the plate. So I believe if you step up to the plate, if you take the next steps, whether it's to apply the principles I shared with you, register for the event, or both, If you take the next step, God, Spirit, Universe will take 2 or 3 for you, but you have to be willing to take the next step. You can't let fear and doubt run you, because if fear and doubt run you, it holds you back. If you say fear and doubt, see you later, I'm moving forward, then fear and doubt lose their power. So take the next steps that you need to take.
I absolutely agree. And I just want to add one last thing that AmondaRose helped me with. So some of you out there may be thinking, well, I don't like to talk about money. I don't like to sell myself. I'm going to get up there and I can tell my story maybe, but the minute I have to sell something, oh God, no. Amonda, how can you help us through that?
Because, well, at the event and in my coaching, we really address the mindset around it. Listen, I was a social worker. The most I have ever sold prior to that was getting my husband to go to a movie that I wanted to see. That was it. I didn't sell anything. And I want you to look at it from this perspective. If you do not offer what you have to offer, then you are slamming the door shut on those individuals that need your help. You're literally slamming the door on them and saying, sorry, you don't get to know how I can help you further. They need your help. And an Empowered Speaker event, we literally cover step-by-steps on how to, the mindset around money, how to open yourself to receiving more, how to actually put a program together that makes it a no-brainer for your audience too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And you really helped me through that. So I want to thank you for that. I also want to thank you for the time today on this Lunch and Learn that we did virtually for all of you guys out there. So if you didn't get us live, then come on the replay. I'm also going to upload it to YouTube, right, Amonda? Is that good for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
And then you can share it with friends. And remember, over the next 3 days, if you go to her website, I'll put it up one more time here, empoweredspeakerevent.com, and you enter the code Gloria VIP, she's going to give you an extra $50 off for the next 3 days only. Just showed up here. Amonda, thank you so much. You're always an inspiration to me and many of others. And like I said, guys, you're going to meet some great people there. I'm actually collaborating with some of those people right now. And it's just a beautiful community of heart-centered entrepreneurs. Thank you very much for being here today. We're going to say goodbye. Give her some hearts and loves and thank you. And then I'm going to finish up here. So have a great day, Amonda.
All right. Bye, everybody. Love you all.
So I hope you enjoyed, listening to AmondaRose give you some tips on speaking, because, you all have powerful stories out there. We know that. And I desire to inspire to have you help others, okay, through those stories. So part of what I do, you guys know, is I am also a coach that helps you get past those fears when you're like doubting yourself too. And so you combine Amonda, you combine coaching that can help you get into your soul purpose and stand on stage with a lot of confidence. But I really hope that you take advantage of her special. It is a phenomenal 3-day event. You will not be disappointed at all. So it's Empowered Speaker Event. And remember to enter the code that she gave you. I'm also going to give you her website if you want to learn more about AmondaRose. And again, post your questions down below and we'll be back to answer them. Thank you, everybody. We are here to inspire you in any way we can so that you can inspire the world. God bless you all.